Hi, I'm Brian Weniger, and I'm the inventor of the R3D-e-GRIP. The R3D-e-GRIP is a rubber grip for your paintbrush. Just as we can see here, fits onto a paintbrush, any paintbrush that you already have. I have many different sizes and styles available. This one here is a large 3-inch angled Picasso. Just look at how comfortable that feels in my hand there. It's comfort in your hand. The R3D-e-GRIP is designed to cover the sharp edges. Sharp edges of metal, the cold metal here that's on the paintbrush. Also, on some brushes, you'll have sharp corners, stuff like that. The R3D-e-GRIP is designed to create comfort. Comfort in your hand. Just think of a pen or pencil and how if you put a large rubber grip on your pen or pencil, it's a lot easier to write and manipulate that pen, less cramping your hands, stuff like that. When you're working with tools, you want to have comfort, especially if you're working on a large project. Whether you're the DIYer working on a weekend project, or if you're a professional like me of 30 years working with paintbrushes every day, it's just nice to finally have some comfort on your paintbrush, and that's what I've designed here with the R3D-e-GRIP. Let me show you some sizes and styles here to help you select which one works best for your project, and we'll talk about them. As you can see here on the board, I have everything ranging from a 1-inch up to 4-inch brushes here. We have some angles. We have some flats. Those are flat bristle. And we have some more angled and a couple more flats down here on the bottom. So starting up here in the top, let's just select 2-inch. A lot of people are using usually a 2 or 2.5-inch size brush. This one is a 2-inch. What makes this here brush different is this is actually a thin brush. You'll see here, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but you can see it's a little bit thinner. It's also got a fluted style handle here. It's got square edges, which just make this brush here kind of more uncomfortable to hold on to. The sharp edges of the metal, the sharp corners on the wood here don't make it as nice and easy to hold on to. Also, for anyone with a larger hand, when you're trying to manipulate a small brush, well, now you're trying to, it's like writing with a pen or pencil. I would much rather have a meatier grip on my pen or pencil, and that's the same with a brush. So you take this R3D-e-GRIP, you just slide it on down, nice and snug, fits in, and then there you go, comfort in your hand. This here is considered the thin. So this one I've labeled an AT square. That is angled, T for thin, SQ for square. That is the square style on this brush. You know, it's got the sharp corners there. It's thin, got the fluted shape. This is the 2-inch, and this one comes in a 1-inch, 1.5, 2-inch, 2.5, and a 3-inch size out there in the market. I'll put this one back up here. Let's move on over here to this unique style of brush. Once again, I'm pulling down a 2-inch, and of course it goes to 2.5 and 3-inch size. But this one here is an oval shape. Let's see if we can see what it looks like on the camera here. This one is Picasso brand. They make an oval shape. It's actually kind of rounded, nicer to conform to your hand. However, once again, it's got sharp edges on the metal, cold metal, and it fits in your hand nice, and I like it. It's a nice brush. But, you know, holding on to that metal there, you're not having the right kind of grip, the soft grip of the R3D-e-GRIP. It just over time, as you're manipulating this brush or any brush, you can get fatigue in your hand, cramps in your hand. And I know this from experience. Many, many years of painting. I mean, just look at my calluses that I've built up on my thumbs. Now, whether you're a full-time painter like me, or you're just a weekend warrior, or you're working on your own small paint project in your house, you know, manipulating tools for an hour or two or all day, you're going to start getting hand pain. We want to try to reduce that by relaxing our grip. That's what the R3D-e-GRIP's all about. So here, once again, I have a unique style and size grip just for this brush, for this style. So Picasso makes this. There may be a couple other that make this oval shape here. It just slides over the handle, goes on, you pull it tight, and there you go. Nice fit. Comfort in your hand. Okay, the R3D-e-GRIP. Comfort in your hand. Put that back up here. Let's go on down to flats here. We have, once again, a couple different varieties of flats. This one here I just selected off the end is the 1.5-inch wide. So 1.5-inch wide bristles. And this one I call it flat, F for flat, and round, R-N-D. Round, what I'm trying to imply here is now your shape is not squared off, it's actually rounded shape. It's not oval like the ones up there. This is rounded if you look down the end here. So once again, you have this brush, you have your Ready Grip sized for the brush. It slides on over, and what helps is having this flexible material with this release cut here to slide over to the fat part of the handle. Pull it on tight, cover up that sharp metal, those edges, that cold metal, and there you go. A comfortable grip for your paintbrush. Now, as I'm talking about this, one thing I haven't really talked about or brought up was this flared edge that I've created on my Ready Grip, this flared edge up here. This here creates a pocket. I call it like a paint dam. So as you're maybe painting something high, you know you're going to have paint running down your bristles. And instead of getting on your fingers, you have an area here to trap that paint and catch it before it gets on your fingers. Keep your fingers nice and clean. Keep that grip maintained where you can hold onto the brush and not have to be constantly like wiping off your fingers. Now, as you're painting ceilings, it'll help catch that paint until you get to a certain point. But I've done many ceilings where I can get across a couple rooms before the paint's fully coming over, and it's just great because you know how paint will run when you're doing ceilings. It's so tricky as you're cutting in ceilings. That's there to help you on that. Okay, so we got the comfortable grip, we got the paint dam, this flared edge here up top on all the Ready Grips, all the sizes. It's a great accessory for your brushes. As I move on down the line, you can see they get larger and larger and larger. Now, back in my day in the 90s, I don't know if many of you have seen a brush like this here before, but this is a 4-inch wide flat. And this used to be our brush of choice. Us professional painters, so we want to get paint on in a lot, you know, real quick, a lot of paint on. You want a larger brush, a larger tool. And that's this guy here. Now, my hands don't work like they used to, and I have a lot of joint pain and arthritis that I've developed over the years. And now I wish I would have had the Ready Grip many years ago for this kind of thing. But this is what we used to use, this big guy. So imagine slapping this big 4-inch around, cutting in stuff, you know, siding, inside walls. We use these 4 inches for everything of that sort. When you're doing big walls, big siding projects, trimming outside, this is what we're using, these 4 inches. Nowadays, I'm using usually an angled brush, and I still like to use things like a 3-inch or a 3.5. But there are times when I use the smaller size brushes. Many times, if I'm dealing with some kind of woodwork or something smaller, intricate, detailed work, door frames, I'm using a smaller brush, 2-inch, 2.5-inch, something that's more smaller. You know, and there's times actually I will break out my 1-inch to get in between some tight woodwork on a house, on walls, or a smaller detailed trim. I might break out a 1 or 1.5-inch brush. The thing about any professional, you're going to want to have a variety of different size tools so that you can accomplish every task. And now you can add in a Ready Grip to every one of your brushes. Now, as I go down the line here, once again, I'm back to some flats, okay, as I came across here. And this one, once again, it's an oval style. So before those were rounded, R&D, the rounded style, I call them R&D. This one here is oval. You can see the shape, kind of oval shape if you look down the handle here. And it's got those sharp edges, cold metal, stuff like that. But now you have this rounded shape, or I'm sorry, oval. You can slide it on the brush just like that, pull it tight, and now you have a comfortable rubber grip for your paintbrush. The paintbrush that you already own, that you already have. You don't have to buy a new paintbrush. You already have one. You just need to find the right size Ready Grip for your paintbrush. Now, as we get down here to the bottom, these are the more common ones, and I'm going to go to the 2.5-inch. This is probably the most common size brush that a lot of people are using, 2.5-inch wide. And the other thing about this is a rounded style, okay? So it's regular thickness, and it's got the rounded shape on the top. So in this brush here, probably the most common that a lot of people are using, or at least I am most often, once again, it just slides on, pull it tight, and there you go. But what I want to show you here, just to confirm so you can see, this here 2.5-inch angled A R&D round So 2.5 inch, that's the size. Then you check your bristles. It's angled. A is for angled, and round is for the shape. I here set aside a few different brands of 2.5 inch brushes, okay? Because I want to show you how this grip, this one grip, will fit all these different brands of 2.5 inch brushes. Let's start out here with a really nice high quality Corona. Love this brush brand. 2.5 inch. And I have a 2.5 inch A round here. Put it on. Pull it tight. And there you go. It fits. I have another 2.5 inch A round here. Let's pull out the Purdy. We've got a Purdy here. Once again, 2.5 inch rounded shape. All we do, slide it down that handle, pull it tight. There you go, nice and snug, and it fits. Just like the Corona, okay? Here you go, same grip, different brushes. So whether you have a Corona or a Purdy, or let's say maybe you have a Worcester. I have a Worcester 2.5 inch angled, once again, with the rounded shape. 2.5 inch angled, rounded. And here you go. You see how it slides through. And in this case, the Worcester's actually got a little thicker handle, but we got that relief cut designed in my grip. So I can get past that, put it on, nice and snug, and it fits. Comfort in your hand, so you can brush all day long. Ease the tensions, release and relax your grip. You're going to be finding you can have less hand fatigue, have less hand cramps and pain. You know, I've developed that big callus on my thumbs, actually on both thumbs, because sometimes you have to use both hands. Whatever, ambidextrous. If you're a professional painter, you're reaching out to the left real far, reaching out to the right real far. There's times you're hanging on a ladder and you just need to reach out and get some spot. Well, you need to learn how to manipulate that brush either way. And over the years, I've just had to do some crazy stuff. I know all you painters out there have done the same thing. So let's look at a couple more here. I have another Worcester. This is a unique style. It's called a beaver tail, or some people call this a beaver tail. You see how wide it is there up top? I'll show you. That actually now, it's still the same brush up here. It's just got a different handle. So it's got the rounded shape, 2.5 inch wide. With my design here of a relief cut, we can get past that beaver tail and still get it to fit. See that? Comfort in your hand. It's real nice. You know, the beaver tail is actually fit so that if you did need to, you could really grab onto it and swing that brush around. Maybe you're slopping on some siding or something larger project. Or maybe you are doing that where you're reaching way out and you're trying to get that last inch and you're just holding on to the end of that handle. And that's where that big beaver tail helps out here a lot. It's a unique style. It's not seen in too many brushes, but I just want to show you how it's got the 2.5 inch wide. It's the rounded shape, and this here grip still fits this style brush too, because of that relief cut that I designed in the rubber material to fit over that. I have a Premier, another great brush. They're all really good brushes. Now we have another grip right here, 2.5 inch A round. Want to take that, slide it on down, pull it on tight over the ferrule. There you go. Relief in your hand. Comfort in your hand. Relief. You know, take the force and the clamping that you have to do with your hand as you're holding that and manipulating. You can kind of relax because you have the grip from the rubber. You have the oversizedness. It's just like, think about a pen, a favorite pen of yours. You probably like a pen that has a nice meaty barrel that has a rubber grip. And that's the same thing here. Same kind of concept. And one last one here. This is a unique brand, Stinger. What they've done is they've added a little bit to the tip here, a flare out. And this is a little different style. Now it doesn't really have that sharp edge anymore. They've actually made it to be uniform with the brush, but you still have kind of a sharp corner, and it's just cold metal that you're holding on to here. So how about we add a little comfort with a Ready Grip? take one off here of this brush here. Took it off the Premier. I'm going to just take my stinger, slide it on down the handle, pull it tight, and there you go. Comfort in your hand. This Ready Grip fits so many different brushes. I have over 20 sizes here. As I was going down the line, you could see there is the 1.5, 2 inch. I had the 2.5 here, the 3 inch, 3.5. Then we get to a couple of more unique ones. We actually have a 3 inch flat, and this is a slightly used brush. There's not many out there. I just had found this in my arsenal of paintbrushes. Wanted to show it off and size it up for this. And this one we call a square because it's back to that square shape. You know, so we have the real sharp corners. Think about holding this thing and the sharp edges on the metal. You know, you're touching that with your fingers, and it's more comfortable to have a Ready Grip on it. So I just designed one here to fit. Slide it on nice and tight, and there you go. Now you have this on here with the flared edge, catching some paint if you're doing overhead work. Couple more, going back to the larger size brushes, you know, the meaty brushes that you're doing larger projects on. Another thought was there's times where maybe you might be doing basement block, cinder block, and you're trying to brush it into the grout. Okay, have you ever done painting of cement block, basement block, or it's block that's used on commercial sites or outdoor stuff like that? That's where you're trying to push it in and you're really manipulating that big brush. You know, you're swinging that around and you want to have some grip, some comfort too. Well, that's where this Ready Grip fits on there, gives you everything you need. And here in this one, once again, we have the square shape. And so I've designed one just for this. It's a 3.5 inch flat square. Fits over that meaty part of the handle. Fits on tight. And there you go. Look at that. Just, it feels so nice. I wish you could feel one right now. You just got to check these out. Last one down the line. We're at another unique one. This is the 3.5 inch angled square. So it's angled, 3.5 inch wide. And with this one, you can see it's got the beaver tail. So that's where that relief cut really helps by having flexibility. I'll get it off to show you there. You can see it's a square shape. It's got that big, nice handle. And this one, you know, it's shaped nice. It's just, once again, you're holding on to cold metal. You got the sharp edges here. And if you add a little comfort with the rubber grip, you're going to find that your day just finishes off nicer. So let's add that rubber grip here. Just slide it over that meaty handle, put it on, and there you go. Comfort in your hand. When you're done with your paint project, you're going to want to take it off. And sometimes you have paint buildup in here. So there's times where I'll just take it on a table or something like that's hard. And you can push down with the rubber grip, slide it off, being careful to not hit your hands on the cold metal there or the sharp edges. Get it off. Take it apart, wash it up as you wash up your brush. Throw it in a bucket of water. However you go about that kind of stuff. But you want to wash these guys up real good and then let them air dry. Use them on your next project. Next brush, whether it's that day or the next day or next week, whenever you are doing some painting. Because these things are durable. They're going to last you a long time. Hey, they may last longer than some of your brushes. Depends on how you take care of them, like everything. So we'll put that back on there. Hang that up here with our collection. So that's the Ready Grip. The Ready Grip. I make these myself in small quantities. You can look at my website, which will be a link on this video here. And from there, you'll find how to shop for these. So why don't you check them out? Figure out what size that you need for your brushes. Give it a shot. I'll tell you, it's comfort in your hand. It's something you want to check out, okay? Just give some comfort in your hand. You're doing a paint project, whether you're doing it for a weekend, for friends or family, something small in your house, or maybe you're professional like me. Get yourself a Ready Grip. Maybe you're going to like them a lot. You're going to find that you're going to want more of them. Let me know. Thanks for watching.